If you're a trader or an investor, or maybe you're interested in finance, maybe you come from a STEM background, pay attention because I'm about to share my story with you. And I have a lot of great information that's going to give you a tremendous amount of value if you want to be a top tier trader, maybe working for a fund, having your own fund, starting a broker, something on the institutional side. Now, again, my name is Ryan. I'm 38 years old. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I was raised by a single mother, and when I was younger, I was super blessed to have grandparents that were avid stock market investors. Now, in 1998, when I was about 13 years old, my grandparents started teaching me about saving, about investing, about stocks and bonds and mutual funds. My grandparents were avid stock market investors, right? They bought blue chip stocks, mutual funds, and they created a compound interest generating machine. Now, I didn't really get into trading heavily until I was in my early 20s. I studied computer science and I ended up dropping out and becoming a pro poker player. And all through my 20s, I was playing poker, I was trading securities, options, futures, commodities, and I did that right for 10 years. And trading is very frustrating when you first get started, right? Because the markets, they only do a few things, right? They go up, they go down, they go sideways. And until you really figure out what drives the markets, which is fear and greed, right? Understanding option flow, liquidity, and kind of the way the markets move, trading can be very frustrating, right? And I think every trader is going to go through this period where they're figuring out their edge, they're figuring out, where they're able to make money. And then, of course, understanding the emotional side of trading, which is really the whole game, right? I would say the psychology and the emotion and the mindset is even more important than maybe some of the other technical strategies and such. And so I was at a point in my life where I was doing a bunch of different things, right? I was doing poker, I was doing trading, I was looking at other businesses, and I was trying to find my way. And I knew that there were guys on Wall Street who were making the big money, right? And I was determined to find a mentor. And I'm about to tell you the craziest story. It's probably one of the most serendipitous experiences I've ever had in my life. And so I was at this time where, I would make a bunch of money, then I would lose some back, and then I'd make a bunch of money, then I'd lose some back. And there was no consistency. And so I had this idea. I kind of was praying in my spirit, like to the universe, to God, however you think about that. And I was like, man, I got to find somebody who really knows this game from like a high level view, right? Really understands the retail side, the institutional side, raising capital. So I kind of made this prayer in my mind and I was like, man, God, you got to send me somebody great, right? And in the way that I was praying this, I kind of was saying, don't send me somebody unless I'm going to go to the top, right? I want to be great. I want to find the right person. I want to learn as much as I can. And so the next day, and this is so crazy, the next day I woke up and I had this feeling inside of myself to go to a bookstore. So I went down to the 3rd Street Promenade when the Barnes & Noble was still right there, 3rd Street in Wilshire. And I kid you not, I walk into the bookstore, I go to the finance section, and the first book that I pull off of the bookshelf, I open the book and there's a card in the book. And I was flabbergasted, right? I was so surprised because I've never found a card in a book, let alone being in the situation of like having this desire and then going down there and finding this card in the book. And you have to realize I had been trading for over 10 years at this point, and on the card, it said something that I never heard before. There was a term that I never heard, and that was CTA, right? Commodity Trading Advisor. And so I took the card home and I set it on my desk and I kind of ruminated and thought about it for a day. And I ended up calling this guy up. His name was Joe. And I had a great conversation with Joe. And I kind of told him my situation and like what I was doing, and he didn't really know, he didn't know me at all, right? He had no idea who I was, but he told me, he's like, you got to meet my buddy Eric, who has been a commodity broker for 20 years, who's helped a lot of people with their trading, with investments. And he made an introduction, and in about 2 days I was down in Orange County in Newport Beach, Huntington Beach area, meeting with Eric. And when I met with Eric, we really hit it off, and he loved that I played cards. He loved that I was super interested in trading, and he ended up becoming a mentor of mine. And this wasn't free, right? I had to pay him, and I invested into him and he invested into me, and he ended up helping me get my Series 3. He ended up helping me get my Series 30. He ended up registering me with his CTA, and I've been working with him now for about 7 years, right? So I've been registered with 2 of his CTAs. My registrations are not current, and it's important to understand that I'm not your fiduciary. Nothing on this channel is financial advice, right? This is just my experience. And, trading securities is risky, right? You can and you probably will lose, right? Anybody that tells you otherwise obviously doesn't know compliance laws, and they don't really know what they're talking about. And that's just my opinion. But the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is because after I met Eric and after I kind of learned everything that he taught me, which was basically a top-down view of how traders are able to trade on behalf of clients and businesses and corporate structures, whether it's creating income, whether it's hedging risk, whether it's using futures to do things like substitute sales, substitute purchase, right? If you're working with manufacturers and distributors, there's many things that you can do with futures that are not normally talked about by guys trading on YouTube or retail traders who are just speculating, okay? And so I really created the daily option because I see a massive opportunity. The opportunity is so great that it has been my greatest downfall that I haven't been more consistent with content, haven't put these ideas out, haven't found the right people who want to join me on this journey, right? So if you're a trader, if you're an investor, if you're somebody who's interested in finance at a very high level, maybe you understand that the big guys on Wall Street are making all the money, the quants, the hedge funds, the brokers, right? And you want to understand that game at a better level. I created the daily option specifically for you because I cannot do what I'm trying to do alone, right? I need a team. I need people that are smarter than me in areas where I struggle so that we can all prosper together, right? Because competition is really not a thing. Like it is and it isn't, right? Collaboration is superior to competition. And you can see this in social media. You can see this in communities and think tanks. When people come together, they can accomplish great things. And you see this across every industry in the world, right? So I'm really excited to, put some of these ideas out there and see who's interested. I'm going to drop some links in the comments, right? I have a PDF that I created that has to do with, the 6 fatal mistakes that traders make. And these are 6 things that you can take with you for a lifetime of trading. They're very, very simple, right? If you're more of an advanced trader, you're really going to see the value in this. And if you're a newbie, you might not appreciate the simplicity. But trust me, if you focus on these 6 things, your trading is going to be much better than it was, right? Again, there's no guarantees, right? I think the thing that's crazy is the emotional aspect of trading is what takes the most work, right? So I'm going to drop a link below. I'm also going to drop a link to a Discord that I've created that's going to be a place where it's going to be free. There's also going to be a paid section, but I want to get a bunch of people in this Discord to start thinking about some of the ideas and the possibilities as traders, as capital raisers, as brokers, as quants, and what the possibilities are when you look at how the big people are playing this game. Now, nothing I'm saying here is my own ideas, right? This is stuff that I learned from a guy who was a commodity broker for 20 years. These are the same things that guys like Ray Dalio and Jim Simons have done, right? If you go look up a video on Jim Simons of Rentec, he basically solved the problem of beating these markets in a quantitative fashion by getting a bunch of smart people into a room and allowing them to have free thought, free speech to solve these problems, and getting these people into a room where everybody's skill sets were working together to solve a common problem. Now, I'm doing that, and that's what I want to do because I actually don't see any traders in Discords solving this problem this way, right? You see a lot of retail traders, they have their method, maybe they have signals, maybe they're teaching a course, and they're giving you their opinion on how they beat the market, and they're giving you an insight into their signals and when they're taking trades. And I'm all for that, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's a lot of people making a lot of money doing that, but I think that there's even more money to be made if we all come together, and instead of us just talking about signals and making trades, we talk about getting people licensed. We talk about corporate structures of how you protect intellectual property, right? How you create trading programs in corporate structures to serve institutional clients, as well as giving people like quants an edge as opposed to going and working for some of the bigger funds, right? Because if you're a quant and you go work for a bigger fund, you're going to sign a non-disclosure agreement, you're going to sign a non-compete agreement, and your intellectual property is pretty much going to be the property of the funds, right? As opposed to somebody like me who actually has worked inside of a fund, who has been licensed. I can help a quant get licensed and actually be a portfolio manager where they share in performance fees, they share in management fees, and they protect their intellectual property, which is a much better way to play this game. Okay, so if any of this has sparked your interest, drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. I would love to blow this thing up in an expedited fashion, because the faster I find the right people to do this, the faster that we can execute. So go check out my free PDF, go join my Discord. I'm going to be coming out with a lot more content, things about the corporate structures, the trading strategies, the compliance, the licensing, the strategies that I have seen commodity brokers use to serve clients. And I'm going to do this in a completely transparent fashion. And I'll just come out and say it right now. You're never going to hear me claim that I'm the best trader, right? Because I'm not here to claim that I'm the best trader. I'm here to do something that's really bigger than me or anybody. Because if you can formulate a hedge fund and you can raise $100 million of capital, you can do some serious damage in this business and you can change a lot of lives. And I think that's more valuable than taking any type of ego approach, right? So moving forward, only think of me as a lead learner, right? I'm not going to claim that I know everything. I'm not going to claim that I'm the best capital raiser. I'm not going to claim that I'm the best trader. I'm not going to claim that I'm some all-star hedge fund manager yet, but I am where I am in my journey. And I'm sharing that with you because I see a lot of missed value that maybe other people are not picking up on. And I really want to execute on this idea. And I need smart, brilliant people who have the same vision and are willing to put in the work. So again, my name is Ryan. I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. Check out the PDF. Check out the Discord channel. Drop a comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.